How will today's measures affect your personal finances? Over the coming months, ITV News will be following 15 families, businesses and individuals to see how the cost of living crisis is impacting their situation. Our social affairs correspondent Sarah Corker asked some of them for their reaction to today's measures.
The Conservative government believes those who can work should.
Get back to work if you can to boost the economy. That's the message from the Chancellor today. In this corner of North Yorkshire, with an older population, it's the over 50s they want to entice out of retirement. Ex-teachers like Anne in Pickering. But ministers will have to make it worth their while financially.
Work coaches, apprenticeships for people in later life. Will any of that persuade you to go back to work?
It's reassuring to know that you could get training for things, particularly technology-based things, that have changed quite a lot. And 3-4 years out of work even is a huge length of time.
So having that extra support.
That support could be quite valuable.
Good boy.
At the other end of the workforce, there'll be more help with nursery costs for those on universal credit, like this family in Devon. Free 30 hours of childcare for 1- and 2-year-olds, but it won't come in till 2024. Too late for Ted to benefit.
It is good to have that, but I do think we can need that now. It's going to have a little bit, there's going to be a bit too little too late.
And we're being told to be back in work and working more hours. So, you know, things like people on universal credit being told, you had to get back into work. But when there's no childcare provisions in place to allow that, that doesn't really make sense.
Cutting inflation is the government's top priority, and prices on the high street are still going to increase, but the pace of change is expected to slow. There will also be continued support on energy bills for an extra 3 months. But remember, compared to a year ago, household bills are still almost double. Energy costs are soaring for small businesses too, but they say they've had very little help. In Cheshire, this restaurant owner doesn't think the government's back-to-work budget will help him to fill vacancies either.
But the reality of it is that, you know, I think it's focusing on the wrong generation, the wrong group of people. You know, we should be really investing in younger people and getting them to be excited about the different industries.
There are more than 1 million job vacancies, but persuading people to unretire to plug gaps in sectors like hospitality will be a huge challenge.
Well, Sarah joins us from Pickering in Yorkshire now. Sarah, what's your overall takeaway then from speaking to our panel?
Well, the economic reality for millions of families is still bleak. Inflation is still eroding living standards, interest rates are going up, rents are rising, mortgages are increasing. So I think the extension of 3 months to that energy support has been broadly welcomed today. It will make a big difference to lots of people. And also freezing fuel duty, that's popular in rural areas like this where lots of people are reliant on their cars. But when it comes to the pension changes, there has been more scepticism around that today, and that is mainly because a lot of people have said that actually it just helps a small number of top earners, so those people that have pension pots that are more than £1 million, and certainly Anne, who you heard from in my report, that won't benefit her. And then job vacancies, we've been talking a lot about that today. Hospitality, construction, social care, they're really crying out for workers, but bosses I've spoken to today have said that they're not quite sure that this back-to-work budget is the right approach, because they don't think it's actually targeting the people who they think will actually want to work in these sectors. And finally, we haven't heard much about public sector pay in the budget today, and no reference really to the strikes that are still sweeping across the country. And certainly people on our panel felt quite disappointed that there wasn't more focus on that in the budget.
Sarah, thank you.